Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Civilization 7 as Edward Teach, aka Barbarossa, where we just finished up the Antiquity Age, where we were playing as Carthage, and now we're playing as the Republic of Pirates, and we've got to choose some legacy bonuses here. Now, there's a few legacy bonuses that I definitely feel like I want. Ooh, Confederation is really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. -2 settlement limit, but extra points. But I didn't actually get any culture points, which I'm pretty sad about, honestly. 60 gold per turn. I don't know how good 60 gold per turn is in this age. Let me take a look. Can I see my city income? Like 60 base income. Let's assume that the age lasts, 100 turns? That's 6,000 gold. But it is 6,000 gold continuously. And gold does have a lot of value. Like if I check out this city, buying an army commander, it could let me clutch out a couple of ships here or there, maybe clutch a building like things like stone cutters. Like 60 gold is a lot from Master Caravaneer. But is it as good as 2 economic attribute points? That's the thing. That's the thing that I'm always struggling with, is like 2 economic attribute points. I mean, like I could get gold per age for trade routes, gold for imported resources. These two combo together to give me just like a ridiculous amount of gold per turn. We're talking somewhere between 5 to 10 gold for some of these trade routes per, or stuff like this, which would give me a nice trickle of gold as well. Now, there is a question here. Do I want extra settlement limit from fealty, or would it be better to get some expansion points? Yes, we would lose out on the production towards settlers, but +1 food per age on warehouse buildings would be a lot of growth. What about militaristic? We could go for, we could get a settlement limit here, or get cheaper military units, which would be really strong, like over the course of an entire age. You know, we're spending a decent amount of money on unit maintenance, 54 right now. So that would probably go down by 4, 7, 15 gold per turn. Like that's pretty good already. Yeah, so we have a lot of like choices. 7 science per turn does not feel like a lot. Like it's a decent amount, but compared to just getting 2 scientific thingies, like this already gives me more science. And then faster building production is really good. I would probably make my way towards the science and settlements, because that way I have a lot of resources. I get a lot of, that'll allow me to get science from trade. I think I've come up with my strategy here. We're going to grab 2 scientific attribute points. That is for sure. I think I'm going to take Master Caravaneer, because 60 gold per turn is like a pretty high value return. I probably would get a bit. Oh, right. I can take both. Duh. I'm so silly. Well, that kind of changes things a little bit, doesn't it? No, I want Master Caravaneer and the economic attribute point. I want 2 scientific points. I would love to take fealty plus a militaristic attribute point at least. And so I think I like this setup. I think it covers our bases pretty well, and it's going to let us do a lot. Especially I like fealty and Master Caravaneer here, because we can conquer some settlements if we want to. Now, if we pop in here, I could either go for gold on resources, but I think even though I'm going to be a pirate, I think I'm going to rely heavily on trade to keep my relationship with people high while I continue to pillage and just blow up their territory with my boats. So I'm going to grab extra gold for every active trade route, plus gold for every imported resource. Then on the militaristic side of things, I'm going to grab military production and cheaper unit maintenance, making my overall military economy more efficient. On the scientific side of things, I'm going to get the +1 science per age on palace. And I would like to be able to produce buildings more efficiently. Let me have a look at what tech masteries are available this age, because that might actually sway my decision. Now, where is the trader unlocked from turn 1 in this age? I believe it is, right? Yeah, it looks like they changed that. I remember you had to research something to get traders, which messed up a lot of my builds. Production on camps and woodcutters, food on food buildings. It's a lot to be able to research these. I mean, they're pretty good. Or would I prefer to just build buildings more efficiently? Like it's a difficult choice. The choice that I'm trying to come between is, do I want to build buildings more efficiently, or do I want to research tech masteries more efficiently? Building buildings faster will get me all sorts of yields faster. It gets me, like, makes my tempo in cities just way better. This gives me science, which is a little bit harder to quantify, a little bit harder to get. Like it would mean if I were to go for this mastery, I would get it sooner. I would get this sooner. Like this would take 10 turns. It would probably take 8 turns. With the mastery, like 2 turns of teching is pretty damn good. I tell you what, I'm going to go. And the nice thing is, this scales with my science output. And whereas this, yeah, And then I can get access to these two to boost my science if I can get more scientific points. So let's have a look at Carthage. Oh, I forgot to switch which city was my capital. That's actually a mistake. I had meant to switch cities so I could get a free one. It saves you like 200 gold, but that's it really. We do want to think about which locations we want to turn into cities. We want to be careful about how, when, where, and why we set cities up. We don't want to just spam them everywhere like you used to, because there's a new gameplay mechanic whereby if you upgrade a town to a city, it increases the cost of non-warehouse buildings across your empire by 5%. And I believe there's also other production scaling. So we really want places that we turn into cities to have really high production. Like Carthage is a great city. A lot of my cities have around 20 production, so that's actually fine. We also want to consider like what are the adjacency potentials. This is where I would love pins, because like look at Thanay here. There's like a fantastic +3 mountain adjacency tile here and here, these two tiles. There's also a really nice +5 adjacency water tile, another +3 adjacency water tile there, a +2 mountain tile. There's some really good adjacencies. I do think that Thanay is gonna be a worthy city to 3, so it does have a +2 science tile as well, which is kind of interesting. Lots of potential there. So of all the cities in my empire that I'm going to convert, I definitely think Thanay is going to be one of them. And so I think part of my strategy here is going to be converting you to a city pretty much immediately. Who else really would suit me as a city? I think 3, somewhere between 2 to 5 cities is like the right number. Like Lapithus here doesn't have a particularly strong city setup, but it is in a strategically good location. Hadramedum, on the other hand, this is a much better city, right? Like it's mountain adjacency tiles, it's got science adjacency tiles, it's got it's got science adjacency, it's got water adjacency. Not the greatest. Like we've got mountain adjacency here. This resource adjacency, unfortunately, would probably be used by the sawmill and the grist mill, but that's fine. We do have niter, which is great. And there's spices here. I'm going to go for Gaulos and Quinquire because I do have 4 boats, so that'll save me a little bit of money. Yeah, I think Hadramedum is going to be my 3rd city, and I think 3 cities is a good starting amount. Utica 1, 2, 3. It does have a good water tile over here. I can't remember if that's actually in the city. Like this is where I miss being able to see the borders between my cities. Like I don't know what button I press to see, like how do I tell? Okay, there we go. If I actually go to build a building. No, so see, it doesn't have that tile. So this city, it's lacking good water adjacency. It does have good mountain adjacency and decent science adjacency. So Utica could be a city, but it's also not coastal, which is kind of problematic for my strategy. Whereas Leptis actually has good water adjacency on 2 really good water adjacency tiles here, plus a triple mountain adjacency and a couple good resource tiles. So this, Leptis could definitely be a 4th city. Dare I go to 4 cities? I mean, I think if the city has the potential, you should do it. So I'm going to convert you to a city as well. And I think 4 cities is plenty. That's a 30% increase in the cost of buildings. Like that's a lot. I don't know if we really want to go more than that. Coming into the capital, we have a lot of things that we could build, but we kind of also have to talk about like what is our opening strategy here. We could go for machinery if we wanted to pump up our sim. We wanted to play Sim City and pump up our stats. Like we wanted to pump up our food, our production. We could go for astronomy if we wanted to focus on our science. Also, the Buccaneer, getting the Buccaneer early has a lot of value because it can do the raiding party. This feels like going for astronomy. This feels very Edward Teach coded. Like maybe we start off with astronomy because that will lead to the sloop. So maybe let's open with astronomy. And since we know we're going for observatories, we can plan in our cities where we're going to get access to our science tiles. We can start like thinking about, okay, like in Thanay, maybe it would be good for me to put a brickyard and a saw pit to get out to here to this science tile right there so I can get a nice observatory. Now, Carthage, I'm trying to remember, can cogs go into the ocean early? Yes, they can. Ooh, there's a shipwreck right there. That's a lovely pickup. I'll send that cog over. And this is the beauty of having pre-built a navy, is we're going to get a lot of this exploration done very early. Now we do want to keep some boats around to murk these independent peoples. Probably would be good to make friends with militaristic and economic city-states. So befriending Abalessa here could be really good for us. It's 340 diplomatic juice. Roskilde is a little bit friendlier. I'm going to start by getting Abalessa. So we'll befriend them. It'll take 30 turns. We'll start juicing up that friendship. So that's the expenditure of this. I still have a little bit of gold left, but I'm not sure what I want to spend it on. Let's come into Carthage here. We could build ourselves a bazaar. How bazaar? Do do do. How bizarre. I mean, there's not a bad bazaar tile right there. So what does the bazaar do? So it's 340 production. It gives you 6 gold per turn and +1 resource capacity. I could alternatively get to work on like brickyard saw pits and stone cutters. Now these wouldn't give me too much more on the way of production. They are worth at least 2 production each, which is really good. Perhaps I should build my sloops. They're range 1, which is worth noting. Like I could start just spamming sloops to do yar har piracy. Or maybe I could start doing merchants early. We start getting that trade pumping. We do benefit a lot from trade, so maybe trade is the way to go. Okay, we have resource assignments available, so camels are still a thing in this age. I would still love a unassign all resources button. It would spark so much joy. So let's see here. So camels, we definitely want to put the camels in Carthage. Carthage is our capital, so that's where we're going to get the most benefit from it. And it would be nice to pump a bunch of happiness, because I think we still have +1 culture and influence in cities doubled in homelands. That's a treasure resource. I like that horses are a treasure resource. +1 golden towns, doubled in homelands. I like that resources. Ah, yeah, we still have wine. Okay, perfect. I like that resources have asymmetric effect. So we're going to pump a bunch of happiness through our capital to hopefully get some celebrations. Now, do I want lots of gold right now or lots of science? I actually think it would be better if I assigned cowrie to my towns so that we can get a bit of a better science trickle. +2 culture on warehouse buildings could be really strong in our capital if we take use of that, as well as +2 food on warehouse buildings. So now in my capital, I want to build warehouse buildings. So that kind of changes my strategy here a little bit. Like maybe merchants aren't the thing that I want. What I actually want is to get these warehouse buildings up so I can scale off of that. So I'm going to, because now look at the value on this warehouse building. We're only losing 2 science, but we're getting a bunch of gold and happiness and stuff. Let's start with a stone cutter right here beside the granary. In terms of civics, we have a lot of interesting decisions to make. If we go piety, we can go very heavy into religion. And we haven't even begun to talk about like our legacy paths or what we're going to be planning to do here. I definitely feel like our main goal is to try to use our buccaneers to get a bunch of economic treasure fleet legacy stuff going. On the culture side of things, I don't know if this is important. The problem is you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 relics before you ever get a legacy point. Now, military, getting distant land settlements, this should be very doable, because like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We only need to get 3 cities in the distant lands following our religion to get non-sufficit orbis. So this should be incredibly doable for us. So we should nail this as far as I'm concerned. Science, on the other hand, have 5 districts that are not the city center with 40 total yield each. This is going to be a little bit harder, but you only need to get 1 to do that. But we do need to research education first. Now, education is a technology that's available over here. So if we really want this, it means moving away from the sloop, although we are going observatory first. So kind of mentally right here, my big focus now is on the economic and military side of things, and picking up the science and culture stuff is kind of like a byproduct. I definitely would put culture over science here because piety activates really early into the game. That's really it. Now let's have a look at our pirate civics. So we've got Articles of Agreement. This would give us access to the Naval Station, which has a base yield of 5 production. It gets +1 gold for every military gold and wonder adjacent to it. Has to be placed on water. It would also give us a production boost to naval units for every fleet commander you have. That's ridiculously strong. Buccaneers will gain the looting promotion for free. That's really nice. Then we also have Ports of Call. So naval arsenal, I think looting is what allows you to loot other people's treasure. Ports of Call would give us access to the naval arsenal, which is +4 gold and gets adjacency for wonders and resources. Has to be placed on water, and when placed together, they'll create the Pirate's Haven. Merry Life, and a short one. When you defeat a support unit, gain gold equal to the unit's production cost. When you defeat a naval unit, gain gold equal to the 25% of the unit's production cost. I don't know what a support unit is. Let's see, so we've got Havana Harbor here. This settlement generates this settlement generates treasure convoys worth 3 treasure fleets, 3 fleet points in the exploration age, +1 economic attribute point. Must be built in distant lands coast adjacent to land that is not lake. Okay. I would love to build the Havana Harbor. So that's definitely going to be part of our plan, is to go for this. Then we've got Enemy of All Nations. Black Flag, you get 100% gold from plundering trade routes, 15 combat strength for all military targets against treasure convoys. And when you capture a treasure convoy point, it's worth an additional fleet. So I definitely feel like, I like that we don't have to get economics anymore. I am tempted to pick up piety first so that we can get a strong religion rolling. But like, I don't know if there's a way that we can stop other people spreading our religion or their religion to us. So maybe the thing to do is to focus on the pirate civics. We have the goal to spread our religion far and wide, but it won't do anything for us really. I say we go for the pirate civics and then maybe look into religious stuff after that. So let's go for the Articles of Agreement and then we'll come back to that. Now, Thanay here wants to expand down to this science tile. So I'm going to spend a little bit of gold to build this city up a bit. I'm going to buy a brickyard plus a saw pit here. Boom. Now we have access to this lovely science tile. Then I want to get the granary plus the stone cutter. So that's 2 warehouse tiles handled right there. Now, I probably should have done more up here to the northeast. It's fine. What I would also like, I would not mind building the bazaar here. That's a huge adjacency bazaar. Alternatively, we could start producing sloops for merchants. I don't think we still have any special bonuses attached to getting trade routes from our capital. So like it's perfectly fine for us to build trade routes here. But maybe what we really care about is like these boats, getting boats out. But we don't have any production bonuses to boats right now. So maybe what I want to do is actually to spend my time early to get merchants so that we have a lot of gold. Yeah, it's kind of hard to choose. In Hadramedum, I am going to get some merchants out. I think that's going to be early game. We're going to focus on merchants, get our empire linked up and see if we can do some trading. We have an army commander. I don't have any plans for him just yet. I have a little scout here as well. We could do a little bit of safe scouting. All right, let's grab this. We got 150 culture or 300 happiness. Personally, I think the culture would really give us a lot of tempo. That's going to shave 2 turns off of Articles of Agreement. We do have a defenseless settlement, and it's mostly because these guys are right here threatening me. We do have to choose a government here. I mean, feudal monarchy just feels like the right thing if we're going for pirate civ. So like the production towards naval units. Now, to me, plutocracy feels right for piracy civ, but I mean, that's just gold. Lots and lots of gold. 30% naval production isn't really that much, whereas 20% gold production is tasty. So I'm gonna go with plutocracy because that feels more piratey. At least we have a semblance of democracy, you know what I mean? Now I'm fully willing to lose a couple of my ships to exploration because there's a big advantage to exploring and being the firstest with the mostest. Thanay has finished building the merchant. Okay, let's have a look at what sort of merchant trades are available to us. So Patavium would be a very nice trade. That would get us like a ridiculous amount of chocolate. Chocolate is a treasure resource that gives happiness in towns. Like that's super strong. So I'll send my merchant to Patavium. We could start another merchant. And we will. No, actually, because we only have so many trade routes early. Instead, maybe building the bazaar. We've got 7 turns until astronomy is done. We could build more boats. The bazaar would give us a lot of gold as well as the resource capacity from trading. And this is an 11 gold tile. Like that is so damn good. Let's do it. Okay, very nice. We've already found a new continent. We found Amazia. Oh, hello. What are you? This is a distant lands treasure resource. Beautiful. We've got some distant lands treasure. Love to see that. We finished the stone cutter in the capital. Mission complete. I would like to build the brickyard. This is an okay science tile, so I don't want to crush it. This is an okay gold adjacency tile. In fact, it's my best gold adjacency tile in the city. This is an okay culture tile, so maybe I will put my... Yeah, I'll put my, buildings, my saw pit and my stone cutter here with the goal of just building more warehouse buildings because we have the resources in Carthage that help us get extra resources from warehouse buildings. You see that extra 2 food and extra 2 culture. It's really nice. Hadramedum, on the other hand, just finished a merchant as well. So we did trade with Patavium. We could trade with Roma. Let's send that merchant out. We could build this. We would lose a bit of happiness, but we would gain a little bit of gold. We would get a little bit of food. We could also build sloops. I don't think I need another merchant right now. There is a 9 gold bazaar here. There's a 10 gold bazaar right there. I think well, that's also a really good science tile. Yeah, unfortunately, this city just doesn't have that good of tiles for what we want to do. So let's just build the granary here to crush the altar. Good job finding this little island. You can coastally raid it. So we can get access to niter or science. I think the science is going to just do a lot more for me than niter because we're not in a position to actually settle that niter. I do love seeing chocolate. I love chocolate. Beautiful. We found Niccolo Machiavelli. Let's kind of zip away here so we can heal up. I forgot that after crossing the ocean, my boats would be weak. So I probably should have moved them across in a group so they wouldn't be too weak. You can shoot him, but you can't coastally raid unless you're at war. Good to know that there's a limit on coastal raiding to do at war. If we can scan this guy's territory, just so we reveal the map a little bit more. Next turn, we should be able to befriend another city-state. I'm going to take a moment here to heal up on this boat because he's alone over there. And I might even bring this boat back to group up with him. I think I should move my cogs in groups because they have a ranged attack, which could be very, very useful. Okay, my cog was damaged on the rough seas. Let's take a moment to heal. You are also damaged in getting across. We found another continent. This is Terra Australis. Awesome. Leptis has finished building a merchant. Brilliant. So we're trading with Roma, Patavium, and La Paja. We'll go to La Paja next. After the merchant has been recruited, is there a good spot for the granary? Not really for what I want to do with this city. There is a good spot for the bazaar. That would take 11 turns. It'd be a long time to build the bazaar. So instead I might just build the cog. I'm taking a moment to heal up all my boats wherever they are. Now an advantage I have is this guy's in the rough seas when I shoot him. So he'll take some damage there. We got our granary and Hadramedum. Let's produce more cogs. Keep moving to the left here. Let's get you in here and heal up. I'm gonna want to get some buccaneers. And a support sloop over here would also not go amiss. There's no point in fighting right now because we don't gather experience, so it's not worth it for me to fight unless I'm literally just trying to hurt people. Hopefully they choose not to attack here. They did choose to attack. That's rough. We met Genghis Khan from Mongolia. Nice to meet you. We'll give him a friendly greeting, but we'll just chill there. Oh no, I don't have enough to do the... I wanted to support Roskilde. Oh, I do. Roskilde, let's befriend. That'll take 15 turns. Excellent. Narrative events. We can get science or culture. I think I'm actually going to need a lot of culture here to get my build up and running. I am going to take the 20% gold buff. Extra resources in towns. Utica is growing very slowly. The stonecutter would have a lot of value in here. So, I mean, it's worth 10 production, so let's get it. And then let's make it a mining town, because it's just going to take forever to grow when we really just want that money out of it. Carthage has finished building its brickyard. We could build a bazaar, but it's not a particularly good bazaar, and this city already has a ton of resource storage. What if I built a cog? Military units never go out of fashion. Good news is I can kill other people's exploration and stuff while I move out with my boats. So just a lot of value in just having huge fleets actually as this faction. Oh, baby. Oh, nice. We pick up a discovery here. I can lose 100% gold. No, thank you. I don't want to lose my gold right now. Not when I'm making so much. I will take the diplomatic favor though, because that's actually a really valuable resource. So there's astronomy. We have unlocked buccaneers. Now, with astronomy, do we want to rush to upgrading our sloops? I feel like that's a no-brainer. It's extra combat strength. It comes way sooner than the Carrack upgrade comes, and it gets us to move towards shipbuilding. So I'm going to get started on machinery so that we can make our way towards heraldry, so that we can get the sloop, which is on the way to shipbuilding, which will allow us to completely take over the seas. Now, coming into the capital, we really want our observatory. And the reason that we want our observatory is because we want a lot of science. And the reason that we want a lot of science is so that we can get to shipbuilding, which is going to allow us to travel through the ocean without taking damage. So that's going to be extremely valuable when our buccaneers start piling out. Now, the question is, do I go for the observatory first, or do I get the buccaneer up and running? I think I just get that first buccaneer up and running. In Leptis, because of the price increase of buccaneers, I think I will focus on the observatory first. Now, there's a +2 adjacency observatory right here, which is lovely. It's about a 33% increase in the base science of this thing. It is going to cost a little bit of happiness and gold, but I think we want those observatories really badly. I should have maybe added a few extra civs to this map because it feels a little sparse. So I've got my sloop over here and my ships are healing up safely, and honestly being high health on this faction feels necessary to make good use of it, because you're kind of at war with everyone, so your ship's survival is actually critical. Okay, you're being ganged up, so shoot that guy and then do a bit of damage. You may as well. Thane has finished a bazaar. Let's build the observatory. We got this +2 adjacency tile for this specific reason. Again, we just want that science to be able to push to higher tiers. Now, similarly in here, I'm going to build the observatory right there in Hadramedum so that we can try to push our science up over the next 10 turns to give us a lot of science value. We actually do need to find where other civilizations are so that we can do a bit of piracy. I actually think in Hadramedum I should build a buccaneer so that I can have a buccaneer going left and one going right. We'll want a few buccaneers this game. I should have the influence to befriend another city-state here. There's a naval station. +5 production, which is fantastic. And we have press gangs. We are going to want press gangs. I think we'll hold off on press gangs for now. I'm going to befriend Cath because it'll only take 15 turns. In terms of narrative choices, if I get 2 more policy slots, I will get influence on my wharf or Yeah, I think give it some more heft. I like the influence on Wharf. That's really cool. In Civics, do we want to go for Articles of Agreement Mastery, or do we want to go to Ports of Call? I think Articles of Agreement Mastery is going to help us to start get some loot going. So we'll go for this first. Now, Carthage has finished a Buccaneer. Let's have a look at your capabilities. So the nice thing about the Buccaneer is it means we can now start gathering experience. The question is, do I go for a third Buccaneer? And also, the price of this one should have increased significantly. How much would it be to purchase a Buccaneer? Maybe I don't build a Buccaneer, but I purchase one over here. There's also the question of should I build the Serpent Mound? Now, the Serpent Mound is a base for diplomatic influence, which gives science and production and all unique improvements in this settlement. We're not going to really get unique improvements unless it's from city-states. So this is a bit of a gamble. It is only a 10-turn gamble. If I were to build it, I could build it here, 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 or here. On this location, it would potentially make, on either of these locations, no, right here, this would give me a +3 science tile right there if I build it here, which is tempting. It doesn't really do a whole lot for my other cities, and it's 10 turns worth of production. Would I be better off just building the naval station? That's a difficult decision to make. Would I be better off just building the regular observatory and pumping up my science a little bit? It's hard to know what the right decision is. Since I don't have unique improvements, and since I'm not likely to get one, or at least I don't plan to get one, I think I'm going to skip the Serpent Mound, and instead, I'm going to focus on getting my observatory up. +5 science here, at a cost of 1 gold and 1 happiness, is really, really strong. This is only a +2 tile, but that's fine. I think we do have the gold to come in here and purchase ourselves a Buccaneer, who will be able to go out here to the west, and hopefully find some stuff to pillage, or at least fight for experience, because we want to get that experience almost as much as we want to be fighting. Let's grab this. So I can gain 1 population or 80 influence. I'll take the 80 influence because that one doesn't do damage to me, which is ideal. I don't want to be taking damage this early if I can avoid it. Now, if I could start getting kills on this cog, it would be nice because we do steal ships when we kill them because we're Edward Teach, aka Blackbeard. I'll send this cog east so we can find out if there's pillageable stuff here. I do like this pirate fantasy of just having like a bajillion boats out in the water hunting. So we've befriended Roskilde. We've befriended Abalasa. We've befriended Kath. I could see myself befriending Ayutthaya. Probably not Buansa because Monsieur Mustache is working on that. J. Riz has got that on the lock. So you would create a trade route. With which settlement are you standing in? I have to assume you're in La Paja, which is where I sent you. So we got a bunch of resources there from that trade, which is wonderful. Plus jade. Excellent. We're continuing to explore. I do find the exploration aspect, like there's something really fun about exploring a map. I would love to see someone make a 4X game or a 4X style like strategy game that was very heavily focused on the explore aspect of 4X. Like that would be super interesting. Like a walking city or something that you send like little scouts out of and where the fog of war like regenerates. Okay, so we found somewhere we can get experience from. I'm gonna start looping my boats down to the south. Or maybe I keep this Buccaneer going northeast and I just create a new one in Thanay using gold. I think that is what I will do. The Majura River has flooded, which is just up here. The town of Lapithus has grown. Lovely. I'm gonna go for the high production tile right there. That's beautiful. Yeah, why don't you... Oh no. You're so dead. Well, you tried. Oof. Not a good point to transition across the ocean. Hopefully he doesn't shoot. Okay, narrative choice. They're going to give me a swordsman, which is great. That just makes me look scarier to the AI because they do calculate how much military you have. Let's grab this wreckage here. Ooh, influence is beautiful. So I think I'll grab Ayutthaya because these are my nearby city-states. It's always good to have your city-states nearby you on your side. I would not mind getting a diplomatic city-state. I love city-states in this game. Like it brings me a lot of satisfaction to play around with city-states. It's one of my favorite gameplay mechanics. I would almost go as far as to say as like a mod that added more city-states would be super awesome. Like as in like if I could increase the amount of independent peoples that spawned. Basically is what I'm saying. It would be good if we got that. Now, I don't know if scouts can cross water. Is that a thing? Let me check. I put my scout on auto explore. Are you allowed? You're not allowed to enter water just yet. So we would need to get cartography to go into water, which is understandable. You're so dead. Well, you got some damage off before you died. Let's set up this trade route. Beautiful. Thankfully, we do have the ability to just build a ton of ships. So losing some here or there isn't the massive loss that it would normally be. I do kind of like this weird island chain. Right, shoot. Now, if you stand still and shoot, he will likely panic. We can maybe get that kill. Perfect. He panicked. He blinked and we got him. pull back and heal. So the AI doesn't seem to like shooting you if they're in deep ocean, which is a big advantage. We did just get the observatory in Carthage. I don't think it's worth it to build our buccaneers. We're better off buying them and instead focusing our city production on infrastructure. Now the naval station is good for military constructibles, gold constructibles, and wonders. I don't think we're going to get a very high adjacency on this thing. So maybe we just put it next to the palace so that we get a little bit of palace adjacency. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we put a specialist where? Let me see. What are you? Barracks, observatory. The observatory would be nice for science. Maybe I want to get more production in the city. Let's go for more production. Take a moment to heal you up. I'm just going to put you onto alert. Finally, we can farm our first chunk of experience, I think. Yes, 3 experience on the Buccaneer. Beautiful. There is a cog here that we can shoot, but I want to farm experience, so I'll pull back for the Buccaneer. Go to Changan for me, please, Mr. Trader. We are going to want to start developing trade relationships with our side's AI. Okay, beautiful. Sabertown has grown. Let's grab that last farming tile in there. Respond to diplomatic action. Oh yes, +4. This actually starts to be pretty appealing, but I do like the +4 diplo favor for just doing nothing. Thank you, Benji. 20% gold for 10 turns. Let's go for plutocracy. I love money. Yes, press gang. So now we can build naval units really fast. That's going to be huge. Like we can 2-turn sloops. I would like to build a naval station, but maybe I need to get more naval units out. Maybe I need more cogs to be able to exploit land. Let's get a couple of sloops to support these buccaneer fleets. Oh dude, there's so much farmable experience here. Yes, give me that experience. So unfortunately this boat is going to go down, so I'm just going to get it to shoot the enemy. We did steal it, but that's still not an ideal situation. He will counterattack. That's fine. I have an advantage here in that I have 2 ships. Okay, grist mill plus sawmill unlocked. That's excellent. That's going to help us boost our farms, pastures, and plantations, as well as our camps and woodcutters. Let's bring you forward. Now, hopefully my 2 ships here. Oh, I didn't want to do a melee attack, but it ended up being what we did. See, narrative choice, we get a migrant, love it. Place it in here, we'll use this to get a woodcutter. We can grow Ruzgunier. The iron is a nice 4 production tile. Love it. Do I want to turn Ruzgunier into a town? I mean, fishing towns are really strong for me. Hub towns are also super powerful if we want to do heavily onto the trade stuff. I really, really wish that this would tell me how many woodcutters and camps I have in my empire. But I think what would be really awesome, instead of picking up this, is to go for heraldry, so we can get that plus that tier 2 sloop. All right, let's keep shooting these neutrals because we're trying to farm experience. Beautiful. We have 15. I think how much experience do we need? Yeah, 15 experience, so a couple more shots and we'll get that. Excellent. Now, Benjamin Franklin could actually be a really good target for a coastal war. We have the looting promotion now, although nowhere to actually use it, but it is good to have. Hadramedum has grown. We could start building up our specialist economy in here. I don't know if that's what we want to do. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 woodcutters that could benefit from a sawmill. So that's a pretty significant amount of production if we were to go down that path. Do we want to focus on growing this city? It is growing really slowly. Do we want to get like science and production, or science and culture rather? I mean, this city doesn't have that much happiness to play with. So I think just going for more woodcuttery, production-y direction is kind of the way to do things. We definitely want to go for ports of call and then the mastery of same. So ports of call is going to give us naval arsenals. Very exciting. Thanay has built a sloop. I would not mind building the sawmill. It's worth potentially up to 7 production, which is a pretty significant increase, right? If we make 39 production, we add 7, like that's a decent chunk. We could even purchase this. We could purchase both of these pieces of infrastructure, honestly. So I'm trying to remember, you get adjacency from gold buildings and you get adjacency from resources. So the ideal place to put this is beside a resource and a gold building. And the bazaar is a gold building. So I tell you what, let's put the naval station right here. We'll get rid of that fishing boat. The sawmill I'll put on the capital tile of the town to get an extra 7 production. So now we're up to 51 production. That was like a 25% increase in the city's production for a significant amount of gold, don't get me wrong. But now we can start cranking out units and wonders and all this stuff. And I think there is a question of like, do we just send a bunch of sloops down here to wreck Benjamin Franklin's coastline? In terms of specialists in this city, we have just like the normal specialist tiles, but we do have some. I wish I could hide the base yields of specialists so that I could better see what each tile is providing. I don't know if adding much more in the way of production really does a lot for this town. It is nice to get gold and happiness and all this, like the lumber mill appears really strong. That's a 3 production tile. That's super good. But is a specialist on this not really good too? One, like net 0.5 food, net 1.5 production, net 2 culture and happiness, minus 2. Well, minus happiness is kind of scary because if we start getting into a war and someone starts buying down my war exhaustion, we could get into negative happiness really fast. So maybe it would be good to work our base land to get our base happiness up. Oh, yes. 2 experience shots in 1 turn. Oh my goodness, you're spoiling me. So we got the looting promotion for free, which actually is only worth 15 experience because it does increase the cost of your next promotion, which is annoying. But it does mean we should probably go down the logistics tree first. Probably going to take +1 gold for each unit packed into this commander, and then +2 unit slots, and then probably pick up the +5 combat strength here order. I think those are pretty standard and understandable decisions to make. This is a sloop, not a cog. No wonder it had to melee. Derp-de-derp-de-derp-de-doo. Can we slam? Come on. Yes. Okay, we stole a boat. It's too bad we're not gathering experience for this. Now, a coastal raid or 2 could really bring us back into the game here. Leftist has grown. This is a city. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 3, and we are going to cover these lumber tiles, so is it really worth it? There's a lot of fishing tiles, which are pretty damn valuable. Maybe we'll grow to the fishing tiles. We've got a narrative event here. Production towards naval units. We don't need that. We could use this. I think I'm going to take the influence, honestly. At this phase of the game, influence is very strong, and I definitely want to befriend some militaristic city-states to make my military, my naval unit ultra strong. I would like to befriend a diplomatic, just because I'm really curious about it. So Thanai is building sloops. I think the cog is just a little bit more usable for now. So I'll queue up a few cogs. Now let's have a look here in Leptis. This city is a little bit out of phase with like what I actually want to be doing. It's not the end of the world that it's kind of in an awkward spot. I think we should build a sawmill and the stone cutter. The question is where. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 adjacency tile for gold, actually. That's a really good bazaar spot. Whereas this is only a +3, which makes me willing to sack it. Let's purchase the granary. And then we could get the grist mill and the water tile there, which would give us access to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if we put it here, we would get access to both sides of the river. If we put it here, we get access to only really this side and not this. So I'm going to put it here, get ourselves a sawmill, get ourselves a stone cutter, build this place up, and then we'll build a bazaar. So we just massively boosted this city's production and stuff. And then this will set us up for a naval station right there. So going to be busy for a while. Yeah, please take this fishing tile. Beautiful. And so the idea behind here is we get a really nice gold location. We pop the bazaar here and then the naval station, which scales off of, this district scales off of resources and gold building. So this creates adjacency for us, basically. Maybe Benjamin Franklin is like a good target here for sloop/cog based raiding. I'm curious to see what unfolds over here. Oh, that's really interesting. They didn't actually go for the kill on this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to denounce Machiavelli. And then I think I'll hinder his finances because I want him to build military, but I want him to struggle economically. So that's perfect. Don't think we're going to get across here. So Roskilde is now our city-state. We could choose a citizen bonus. So we could get the Casbah. The Casbah provides gold, culture, and science. +1 of each. It gives 3 combat strength units on the tile. Must be placed on an existing improvement on desert. So not really useful for us. Commanders in distant lands earn more experience. That's fine. Longbow, that gives range combat strength to range and siege units for every militaristic city-state. Here we go. Free companies. +1 combat strength to infantry and naval units for every militaristic city-state you're suzerain of. This is what we want. We want free companies. Hell yes. Now, Handramedum, it's a question of, do we want to focus on gold adjacency by putting our naval station beside these 2 resources? Or do we want to focus on production adjacency by putting it here, getting less in the way of resource adjacency, but then having potential for the follow-up with the bazaar? And I think I know what the answer for me is there. I'm probably going to get started with the sawmill. I'll put the sawmill... The sawmill doesn't have to go there, actually. I can put the sawmill here with the stone cutter here and then the naval station here. So we've got a bunch of production producing stuff queued up here. Perfect. It's kind of annoying that I can't pillage these things while I'm zipping through their territory. Tempting to declare war, but I don't want to declare war until our relationship is low enough to where we don't suffer war declaration penalties. Now here we go. Here's a fun idea. We can shoot you. Oh, technically I can't. Annoying. I feel very constrained by the water situation. Okay, so if you shoot here, we'll get experience. Then I'll move my buccaneer down a tile, shoot you with my sloop. There we go. He got, wait, triple experience? Is that a special ability of the sloop? He just got 9 experience for that sloop attacking. I'm really curious about that. Okay, let's go for logistics. We'll take quartermaster, which will lower the upkeep of units inside him. What happens if we kill this? +1 XP. Interesting. I wonder, do sloops actually earn more experience? That's a really interesting discovery if true. All right, let's shoot there. Beautiful. We've met a new civilization, Pachacuti. I'll give him a neutral greeting. Thank you, Pachacuti. Love you, buddy. We've got a narrative choice. We'll get some science from them. That's beautiful. We've got a diplomatic action. He wants a research collab. I'll take it because I don't want to have to spend the resources to cancel it. J-Riz giving us a local festival. I'm going to accept that. And, owie, he's shooting my sloops. I'm really curious here. So we know that attacking with this guy should get us 1 experience, right? So if we attack, 1 XP. But in the not too distant future, once we have ports of call 2 with the Havana Harbor, we will be able to start settling with our buccaneers, which is going to be a lot of fun. Shoot over there. Get an XP point. Every little trickle of experience we can get matters. Ooh, a settler we could capture. All right, Charlemagne, neutral greeting. Nice to meet you. Been a pretty lackluster start here. I think partially because I didn't have someone lined up with an easy coastline to go conquer. I do think we're going to get value out of these abilities. Once we start getting ourselves up into these later abilities, I think it's a matter of we're building momentum. That's what we're in the middle of. Let's trade with Chang'an. Boom. Beautiful. And we'll go to the next turn, hopefully. Probably going to lose my boats. It's fine. We're able to replace them extremely quickly. So we met Tecumseh as well. That's really nice. We have another narrative choice. We can get some gold from you. Morara Jambi here. We could clear this, or we could befriend it. It looks like we managed to capture a privateer. Oh, I did not mean to coastal raid that. Well, 150 culture is really good. Soften these guys up with attacks. I will open my borders with Benji Frank. Maybe he knows I was thinking of killing him. But I tell you what, on the verge of getting heraldry, which somebody's already built a Rila Monastery, which is crazy. I'm going to go ahead and call this the end of this episode. I feel like I've learned a lot about how the pirates work and what we actually want to be doing with them. I do think Benjamin Franklin would be a really good target for a pirate raid. Whereas the problem with going for someone like J-Riz is that he's like right on our border. So that would be problematic because he could send land units to attack us. And we don't want to be fighting people on land. We want to do piracy far away from home. So yeah, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much. And I'll see you next time, laddies. Bye-bye.